When audiences see this movie, one of the inherent things they're supposed to believe is that you guys have been friends for a long time. How does the
That's where acting comes in.
But how does the chemistry work out with something like that to make audiences accept that that really happened? Did you guys know each other before? Did you kind of spend time together?
It's at that moment that my acting kicks in. To believe this
That
friendship
would ever exist
in the world of the real. So, in between takes, I will not talk to Mr. James, but when they yell action, I adore him. Cut, I am off of him.
It's just how it goes. Now, we'd met a couple times before, but Ron pulled us out for about 3 weeks. We have the same sensibility, and once we really got to know each other, we just clicked.
It was so easy. I've always been a big fan. He's one of the funniest guys out there. He's so genuine in the movies and such a good actor. You're always rooting for him. Who would you want to play your best friend? It was so great. And then when I met him, he was so fun, and our families got along, and his wife Steph and Kyla and his little girls are great. We had a blast. It was really easy. It really was a pretty special summer.
Yeah. But it's interesting looking at the comedic background of both of you. I mean, one of you kind of is more physical, and one was more like an intellectual type of approach to humor. And yet, for this movie, it was totally turned on its axis.
I kind of disagree with that because, I think like even when you see Kevin's show, there's so many situations that we've all been through and that we all relate to, and then it's the spirit that's rootable that you bring to that, which is good, and
in the same way, in token, I can say about physical comedy with you, I don't think anybody's made me laugh than you before Christmas is doing the fake throw up.
Yeah.
I just doing that.
And then the other thing was all the fun stuff we got to bring in range in this movie. The thing about the movie is a lot of times studios don't realize how sophisticated audiences are. Audiences don't need to be 100% of comedy or 100% of drama. And with Ronnie made such a quality film, the fun thing about this thing is there's physical, there's this kind of comedy, there's real drama, there's tension, it's a thriller. The movie really does have so much to offer. It was fun to to do all those types of things under the umbrella of one movie.
Right. But he was incredibly physical, by the way. Yeah, I know what you're saying in this movie, right? With the fighting him, and he did it with him and Channing.
How's the choreography though, especially with the fight sequences between the two of you? I
mean, between us.
Well, with me, Kevin had the good idea of doing that in the particular movie. We just kind of played around and worked it out and thought it would be a funny concept. It came out of us working on the screenplay and writing, and we said that would be a fun way to kind of handle a situation without giving anything away.
Right.
And then he kind of came up with the specifics of what would be the moves to do that. So
and all the fun. After effect, it was all Mr. Vaughn, which is probably the funniest thing I've seen in a very long time. I laughed very hard, and I've seen the movie 3 times.
We always hear about movies that script. The script is the Bible, and yet when you have comic minds such as yourself, improv really becomes almost second nature in certain sequences. Can you talk a little bit about how that worked for you guys?
Well, the thing that's true is that we really rewrote on a lot of the script too, meaning, yes, there's improv, but Ron really brought us all in, and not just me, but all the actors. We sat around, we would play with lines, make it our own, talk about it. So we did weeks and weeks of rewriting.
Right. It was never really just kind of like, hey, just have fun, free fun. We would do that after we had a certain scene down, but it was always in the vein of, keeping it in the area and doing that. And I got to say, this man to my right is absolutely the best in the world at it. It really is. I put him up against anybody. And Ron Howard was saying the same thing. And it's but not just for himself, which is he's so great at improv, but he's giving too, and it sets you up. He was constantly setting me up and finding ideas that I didn't even know on the fly that he would give to me, and then I go, oh, I could say that, and then he's feeding you that way, and it's great. It was really a great marriage that way. I enjoyed doing it.
And vice versa, we were just having fun and giving each other ideas, and that's always when stuff goes the best. It's like a team. If you're looking to say, how do we make this great? It's more fun. Everyone's having a good time,
and that was the spirit of the whole cast. Everybody just wanted to make this movie really great, and you had such talented people with great attitudes, and that was there's no secret to it. That's really it. I mean,
is there a secret to your dance ability? Because that was a wonderful moves there we had. I think people are probably going to be unaware of how adept you are.
Yeah, I mean, I come from a long line of dancers. Dating back to the 1800s. It goes back to my great grandfather. Who was just amazing. He invented the soft shoe, and it just took off from there. I don't like to talk about it, but it's just what happens, And
he was from Munich? He was from
Munich. Yes. So
what do they say about comedy? It really comes from the truth. That's what makes people really laugh, because they can identify with it. So let's talk about the central theme of the dilemma. I mean, it's an uncomfortable situation, but yet so much comedy comes out of it. How much do you understand or relate to that question? What would you do?
Well, I think it's specific to the journey of this movie, which isn't really do you tell or don't you. The question is, how do you tell your friend something he needs to know when he is in a place where he totally can't hear it? And that becomes sort of the navigating that becomes fun.
Mm-hmm. And but did it facilitate conversations on set? I mean, some of the cast is married, some isn't, but even in relationship to a friend, if you had a good friend.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we all kind of agreed on the fact that you need to tell. If it's your best friend, you have to tell. But what happens is, in this movie, and the way Ron has designed it to be, you know, with all these variables coming at you, these icebergs that you have to dodge, you know, there's the timing of when do you tell and how do you tell and what are the repercussions from it, you know. So it's all that involved that makes this movie great. That's what makes it special. Anybody can do a movie about, hey, guy's wife cheats on him and this and that, and you find out and you tell him and he gets upset or whatever, you know. But that's what makes this movie so unique, is the way Ron has put it together like a psychological thriller. And I think you're on your edge of your seat, you know, trying to figure out what's going to happen.
Now let's talk about cars, because, I mean, you give this great impassioned speech about men need to hear the sound of a car and these great classic cars. What is your own relationship to cars? How adept are you at fixing them? I mean, are you a car guy?
I'm not very good at cars, no. And I never was a big car buff that way. My first car I bought was a used rent-a-car. So that I could drive in Los Angeles. But I've never really been, I mean, I can appreciate cars and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love them.
But I never spent a lot of money on cars.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't know what to do under an engine?
No, that'd be horrible. You know.
That's what I do.
I just, you know, I start doing it. I just like, I look at it and I go,
especially nowadays, it's like computers.
Yeah, it's not even, you don't even fix it anymore the way they do, right? Everything's a chip. You put in a chip.
So all that was acting.
It was acting.
That's right.
We've come full circle.
That's right.
Nice.
Thanks, Vaughn. Kevin James, as always, thank you
Thanks so much. Good to see you.
Great to see you guys.